Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to another video of Pathfinder Division's mathematics video. So in today's lesson, we're going to talk about word problem. So traditionally, this is really one of the things that you struggle in mathematics in primary school. The reason why is because that when we learn about mathematics, even way before you start to learn about them in school, you will soon find that actually when people talk to you, they use various words, but at the start, because the words and vocab is a bit limited, so you find that it's a bit difficult to understand. So the teacher will start to show you pictures and diagrams to help you to better understand it. And in Singapore's mathematics, you will find that we learn about model. So model is in fact a way to use diagram to help you to understand what is the quantity, what are the changes, what the question is talking about. Okay, and think of model as boxes, where these boxes are so-called container that you can put things inside. So like for example, if we talk about two persons, A versus B. So A has one box and B has two boxes. Okay, and when you want to make comparison, the thing is that we need to make sure that the box is of the same size. So in order for me to say that B has twice of A, okay, B has twice of A, it means to say that, okay, I need to have two boxes, you have one, and the box must be of the same size, because when we say the same size, then we know that same size means same quantity, right? Because if you have a bigger box, you can put more stuff inside. If you have a smaller box, then you can put less stuff inside. So the size of the box is actually very important. Same size means same quantity. And right now, because we drew the same boxes, the size is the same for B and A. Then if I draw two of it for B and one of it for A, then I know that B has twice the amount of A. So we're going to use this idea and fast forward to other questions where we're going to use this form as a means of comparison. And whenever you're comparing, please make sure that the size of the unit is the same. Coming to today's lesson, when we talk about the first common skill set you need for model drawing, we're going to explore this part about same amount at the end of the day. So there will be changes in quantity, and at the end, right, you have the same amount. So let's look at this question. Lenny has $20 more than Sean at first. So later on, when we draw the model, for the Lenny one, it has to be a bit longer. Then after Lenny spent $10 and Sean was given some money, they have the same amount of money left. So the question asks how much money did Sean receive? Okay, so if you look at the model, right, the model will need to be in such a way that Lenny will be longer than Sean's one. Then we're going to put a cursive bracket with a 20 to say that yes, it's $20 more. So this is the quantity that's more. And the keyword here is, as I underline, the same amount of money left. So meaning to say that after all these changes happen, right, we're going to make it in such a way that the length of the model will be the same. Okay, length of model is the same. So remember that. So when I say length, means the total length must be the same because they have the same amount of money at the end of the day. So if I include right now, the quantity changes now. So for Lenny, right, it's a decrease. In fact, this $10 is no longer present because I have spent it. But in order for Sean to have the same amount of money as Lenny, this amount of money must increase. So this is the extra part that Sean has gotten. And at the end of the day, if I draw a dotted line, right, it will be aligned so that we are showing that the length of the model for Lenny and Sean is entirely the same. But the difference of 20 at the start still remains. And we're going to make use of that together with the $10 to figure out how much Sean actually gotten at the end of the day. So the difference is 20 at the start if I draw a dotted line here. So now by drawing top and bottom, the before and after, which is important, when we want to talk about changes, it's always better to draw on top and at the bottom, right? So from here you can see that, oh, okay, so it means to say that this 20, the total difference, okay, is going to be the summation or the addition of what Sean get and what Lenny has spent. Right? So it's quite clear from my picture itself. So which also means to say that if I want to know how much Sean get, all I need to do is that I do a 20 minus 10, then I'll get 10. So Sean received $10. But for some of you who are smarter, you already mentally calculate this. But however, I will say that not every question can be as straightforward as this. So learning how to draw the same length at the end of the day, right, is really very important. Okay, with that, let's take a look at a question like that. Okay, so in the next skill set that you're going to look at, this is very similar to the first one, but in this skill set, we're going to focus on same amount equal to the same number of units. So when they say that 2/3 of Kenny's marble, right, is equal to 4/5 of Lin's marble, the first thing that should come to your mind will be, okay, the 3, first of all, remember, 3 is the total for Kenny. Okay, remember, so 2 out of 3, right? Okay, so 2 part of it, okay, 2 part of it of Kenny's total 3 is actually equals to 5 part of it. Okay, this is the Lin's total. And this 4 is equals to this 2, right? So in terms of model, right, it means to say that the length of the 2 units for Kenny, okay, so length of Kenny's 2U is in fact equals to the length of Lin's 4U. This is the meaning. So length the same means quantity the same. So with that, if I draw the model, this is how it looks like, where Kenny has 3 boxes and Lin has actually a total of 5 boxes. Then if we look at the 2 units for Kenny and the 4 units for Lin, you can see that I drew a dotted line here. So it means to say that they are aligned, so they are equal. So this 2 units for Kenny and this 4 units for Lin, right, is in fact the same. Which means to say that, in fact, if you look at it, right, to make it really look like the same, right, so what I do is that actually what I will do is I will cut the boxes for Kenny. If you look at it, right, actually it just means to say that every unit for Kenny is 2 units of Lin. So if I make a cut here, if I make a cut here, if I make a cut here, so every unit I cut into half, then you will see that, oh, so actually Kenny got 6 units, which also means to say that if I change the fraction, the 2/3 is in fact 4/6, which is the equivalent fraction. They are the same fraction in fact. So from here I conclude that Kenny actually has 6 in total and Lee has 5. And once you cut the unit to be of each box the same length, right, then it's now able to compare between Kenny and Lin. If I further ask you another question, right, to talk about the quantity of marble they have, what is the difference? I already know that for Kenny has 1 more unit compared to Lin. But you cannot say that just now when the size of the unit is not the same. So remember, make sure you draw, make sure the size of unit is the same before you start making comparison. Okay, so with these two skill set, right, okay, let's dive into some word problem. And at this point, I will want to give some credit to this publisher, SAP, because they have supplied us with the Conqueror model series, which we have actually adopted quite a number of questions in our classes. So in today's lesson, I'm going to go through a few questions from the book that if you are interested, maybe you can go to the popular bookstore and you can let us know. Then we will actually let you have the books, and yeah, it's really very useful. Okay, so this is actually questions from the book. All right, the first question. Pearline and Jolene had a total of 190 pencils. After Pearline bought 36 more pencils and Jolene gave away 82 pencils, both of them had the same amount of pencil left. How many pencils did Pearline have at first? So this is a question where you can see there's changes in quantity, but at the end of the day, right, the total amount they have is the same. So whether it's Pearline or Jolene, they have the same amount of money. So let's draw the model diagram first. Right, so the thing is that we don't know who has more, but if you think about it, if let's say someone has given pencil away and then end up with the same quantity as someone who has bought some pencil, then I think intuitively you might know that Jolie is actually the one that has more pencil at the start. So this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to write a J, going to draw a model. So longer for Pearline. Okay, once again, apologize for the not so straight line that I draw. So Pearline, on the other hand, is a shorter one. So let's say it's something like that. Okay, so this is the before. Then later we will draw the after, remember, at the bottom, and make sure that the diagram are all aligned, so they start at the same point. So the after will look like this. Okay, after will look like this, where I know that Jolene will give away 82. So after giving away, it will look something like that. Shorter, right? Okay. Just not to make you feel that it's the same as Pearline at the start, right? I'm going to do this a bit shorter. So I'm going to draw a box here. This is actually 82. So dotted means it's already given away, right? Then for Pearline, right? Pearline actually get 36 more pencils. So Pearline, okay, I think the amount that I have after giving away 82 should still be more than Pearline. That's why Pearline need to buy more. So I'm going to redraw the dotted line part now. Yeah, sometimes it's actually like that. Okay, let me redraw the dotted line part. So now if I redraw a dotted line part, it probably, okay, wait, still cannot. Okay, let me draw here. Something like that. Okay, this part is actually 82, all right, 82. Then after that, right, we know that Pearline will get another 36, so I'm going to draw like that. This is the original one. Then I'm going to draw an extra box. This is actually 36. Okay, something like that. So from here, you can see that, oh, okay, now we have equal quantity. One spent 82, one at 36, and the quantity is actually the same. So which also means to say that, right, if I draw a dotted line now, did you notice that this was initially the difference, which is given by the addition of 36 and 82? So if I'm going to do a 36 plus 82 now, then this is actually going to be 118. The difference at the start is 118. Okay, you see this by taking 82 and 36 add together. So now, you want to find the amount of pencil that Pearline have at first, right? Actually, all we need to do is that, remember that this entire thing is 190. 190. So meaning to say that now, if I take 190 minus away 118, then I will be getting 72. Okay, so meaning to say that, right, okay, let me use a blue color to highlight for you. Do you know that this part plus this part is in fact a total of 72? So they are equal part, right? So what we need to do is that if I take 72 divided by 2 now, I'm going to get 36, and this is what Pearline have at the start. Okay, follow? So you can see that getting the correct model diagram, it might not necessarily be a one-step thing, like not immediately. So sometimes you watch how your teacher do it, especially they put it in a slide already, right? They already adjusted the size of the boxes, the correct one. But in actual fact, when you really go down to drawing it, right, sometimes you might not get the size right at the start. So you can see that I can actually do some adjustment. But at the end of the day, right, you must make sure that, okay, the correct quantity is actually being presented. So at the end, is they have the same amount. So Jolene will actually be a bit more. Then Pearline actually was, Jolene was a bit less. Pearline was a bit more. But at the end, they have the same length. So you add them together, the difference, that was actually the same difference as at the start. Then after that, right, if you use the model, you can very quickly take the quantity and divide to find the actual quantity that you want. Okay, so this is question number 1. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. Okay, the next problem got to do with equal fraction. So they say that 3/5 of Kelvin's money is equal to 6/7 of Alvin's money. If Kelvin has $72 more than Alvin, how much more money does Alvin have? So take note that at the start, right, the quantity they have, the unit, okay, so for Kelvin is 5. This is Kelvin. For Alvin, right, is actually 7, Alvin. But the units are not of the same size, remember? So we must make them the same size first. So in this case, right, if you look at it, remember, same quantity must be same unit. So in actual fact, the 3 out of 5 for Kelvin, right, I must make it a 6 to be equal to Alvin. Find the common multiple. So if I multiply by 2 here, multiply by 2 here, I'm going to get 6 out of 10. So now, Kelvin 6 out of 10, then Alvin is 6 out of 7. Now the unit is the same, right? So I have 6 units for Kelvin, 6 units for Alvin. So now the quantity is the same. So which also means to say that now, right, when we look at it, we know that Kelvin has a total of 10 units. So Kelvin is 10 units. Kelvin is, on the other hand, 6 units. Alright? And the difference between the two is actually $72. So I take 10 minus 6, I'm going to get 4 units. And this is actually our $72. So 4U is 72. And then I want to find, okay, how much money does Alvin have? So I want to find 6U. Let's find 1U first. 72 divided by 4. And this will get 18. Then finally, okay, let's draw a line here. So we want to find 6U, right? So 6U will be 18 multiplied by 6, which will give you 108. Okay, this is Alvin's money. Let's put a dollar sign here. Yeah, okay, so this is problem number 2. So take note that if the number of units, the quantity is the same, the number of units should be the same. So 3/5 of Kelvin's money means 3 units out of the 5 units of Kelvin's money is equal to 6 units out of 7 units of Alvin's money. So if the quantity is supposed to be the same, then the unit should be the same. So we actually find the equivalent fraction for Kelvin, and then we will be able to find the answer from there. Okay, question number 3. So this one is got to do with ratio. So the number of oranges is 3/4 of the number of apples. So 3/4 means what? 3 units is referring to the quantity in front. 4 units is referring to the quantity behind. Then the ratio of the number of apple, red one and green one is 2:5. Okay, so they first compare orange and apple. Then after that, right, they compare the apple. Within the apple, there's a green one, there's the red one. Okay, then if there are 12 more green apple than red apple, how many oranges are there? Okay, so how do we do this problem? Okay, first thing first, maybe we can draw the model for orange and apple first. So orange is here, okay, 3 units. Apple is here, okay, 4 units. So like that. Okay, 4 units. Then the ratio of the number of red apple to green apple, right? So this entire thing, not so sure whether you realize, because when I compare green and red, right, I'm actually getting a 2:5 ratio. So separately, if I were to draw at the bottom, I will draw a total of 7 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I think I redraw because the sizes change already. That's why you can see sometimes it might not be so easy. Okay, let's draw again. Make sure the size is the same. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then after that, there's 4 more here. So total 7 units. And this 7 units, why I align to the 4 units on top, right? Because all these are about apple, right? All these are about apple. And in this case, right, the green and red apple total is the total apple that I have. So in this case, this 2, right, is really the red apple. Then this 5 is really the green apple. Then from there, okay, if you look at it, right, now after knowing the 7 unit is actually equal to 4 unit, right, then we're going to dive into the problem now because they say there's 12 more green than red. So we compare green and red, we know that green there's 5 unit and red there's 2 unit. So meaning to say that, right, we're going to take a 5 minus 2, the difference is 3 unit. And this 3 unit is really the difference here. Then after which, right, we write 3U is 12. 1U is 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So in actual fact, right, the smaller unit, one of it, which is here, is actually 4. One box is 4. Then I want to find the amount orange. So why not we find the total amount apple first? So 4 multiplied by a total of 7, we get 28. Okay, 28. So this is the total number of apple. Then now, in order to get the orange, right, we must go back up to the model diagram at the top, this part. So now, these 4 boxes, right, is actually 28 because the same as the bottom, right? So now I can say that 4U is equals to 28. Then I want to find 3U. So 1U first is 28 divided by 4 equals to 7. And 3U will be equal to 7 times 3 equals to 21. So oranges, actually there is a total of 21. But you can see how things can be a bit complicated at the start. Because when we compare the model, right, we have to compare the original ones, the orange and apple. but there's no quantity given to me. The only information I'm given is about the apple. So if I move down to the next level, you can see that I always draw top down, right? That is the right way to draw a model. I think left, right a bit hard to compare. Top down, I can compare quantity with quantity. If it's the same, I draw the same length. If it's different, then I draw different length. Then if I draw all the way back to the bottom now, I got 7 units. Okay, then you can see that this 7 unit is in fact the 4 unit just now, you know. Okay, but let's work on this 7 unit first. Then we know that, 2 is red apple, then 5 is green apple. So now we take a 5 minus 2, we get 3 units, then that is actually the difference. And why do I want to do that? The question gave you 12 more green apple than red. So this 3u is actually 12. So if I divide by 3, then I get 4. Then after that, I multiply to 7 to get the total apple. Because this is the thing that will help me to compare to the orange later. So total is 28. And whether it's looking at this one or this one, both is the same quantity, all talking about apple. Okay, so now if you look at the apple, we have 28 divided by 4, so 1u is 7. Then we can work backward to find our orange should be 3 units, then it will be 21. Okay, so this will be the third problem for today's lesson, and it will also be the last one. I hope you can see that model diagram is really useful, but of course it's only as useful as you understand how to do it. If let's say you don't know how to draw the model, don't even know how to start, then I would think that you might want to start right now, because what is important is that, right, the more you practice, the better you'll be. And the main thing is that every time when you're given some information, don't be shy, just immediately draw the model first that represents it. Okay, so the fraction itself basically always tells you that the denominator is the total quantity, the top is the quantity that you want, okay, as mentioned in my last video. And of course, the next thing is that if you're comparing quantity like this, orange is to apple, orange is 3/4, meaning to say that 3 units is orange, 4 units is apple. Okay, so that's all for today's lesson. If you like the video, please help me to subscribe and as well as share around with your friends. And of course, in the near future, I will also be shooting some video on more word problems. So this is package 1. We're going to have package 2 and 3 in the later part of this month or even next one. Okay, so please watch out for the new video that's coming up, and hope this will help you in the upcoming PSLE or your WA. Thank you very much. I'll see you again in the next video.